I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. On today's show, we are going to be talking about something that can be good for everyone, because if you've been looking at my website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is "The Future is Calling You." And the reason why it can be calling you is because we are having a fabulous new moon on Friday at 21 degrees of Aquarius. And Aquarius rules the future. It's the traditional ruler of the 11th house of hopes and wishes. So maybe some hopes and wishes can be coming true for you under this highly unusual and very powerful new moon in Aquarius. And Aquarius rules a lot of things that are ahead of their time. That's why it rules the future. And so it rules invention and technology, computers. It rules space and satellites and the whole telecommunications field. And it rules electricity. And it rules music, because music goes through the air too. And so its ruler is Uranus. And Uranus is the higher octave of Venus. And it is a planet that is noted for sudden, surprising change. And so that's why if you concentrate on your future right now, under this fabulous new moon, you may be experiencing soon a surprising change in your life, but it would be certainly something that would help get you out of the past and into the future. And that's where we should all be headed anyway. And so this is a time when perhaps your hopes and wishes could come true. And that is because the planets are in a very compact configuration. And that is because, once again, first of all the planets are direct. There's nothing retrograde. There's nothing stopping you. But all 10 planets are only in one half of your chart. But they're not as spread out in that half as they used to be. In fact, all 10 planets are only in 4 signs in your chart. And that is Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. There's 8 planets in just those 3 signs. And then there are 2 more in the sign of Taurus. And that's it. All the other signs are empty right now. And there are no planets in fire signs at all. And so the reason the new moon is so powerful is because there are 4 planets all by themselves that are only in Aquarius on Friday. And they are divided into 2 pairs. And so the first pair of planets that are in Aquarius are the Sun and the Moon at 21 degrees. 21 is a Jupiter number. It's a number of benevolence and good luck. So that's a nice place to have a new moon. So that is why anything that Aquarius rules, which generally is things ahead of their time, or the future, or invention, or Aquarius also is the sign of the humanitarian, and it rules rebellion, and it rules freedom and independence, and it rules space. So who knows where there's going to be a new beginning in your future, but certainly this is the time when your future is calling you, because the other pair of planets that are in Aquarius are Pluto, which has moved into the sign, and for the better part of the next 15 or 20 years, it will be in Aquarius. So a whole lot of new things are going to be happening while it's in the sign of the future. And that Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius, and Mercury, the planet of communication and thought, is at 7 degrees. So these 2 planets are conjuncting, and the Sun and the Moon are conjuncting. And so these are 4 very powerful planets, meaning that, boy, the future really is calling you. But I think that if you are ready to go into the future now, which I hope you are, I think that you're going to be using skills from your past, or skills you've already mastered. And the reason why I think that you're going to be taking a really good set of skills with you into a future project is because right behind the new moon in Aquarius on Friday are 3 planets in Capricorn. And Capricorn rules your 10th house of career and your public reputation and rewards earned the hard way over a long period of time. So time means it's sort of on your side, and you may be able to take skills you've already learned and you've already practiced into the future. because these 3 planets in Capricorn are backing up the new moon in Aquarius. They're right behind it. And so it's Venus in Capricorn, and Venus is joining Mars in Capricorn. Yeah, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. And so, and they are conjuncting. Venus and Mars are conjuncting in Capricorn. There are 2 planets in Capricorn, I'm sorry. But they are a powerhouse duo, because Mars is exalted, meaning that there can be some hard-headed decisions by people in upper management that have to do with changes in large corporations, government agencies, or in institutions, which is what Capricorn rules. It rules bureaucracies. And so there could be layoffs, or there could be changes in management or changes in policies that are based on the bottom line. We may not like all those changes, but on the other hand, people who have spent a good part of their career mastering their skills can turn right around under the new moon in Aquarius on Friday and hear the call of the future and head straight forward. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's a nice way to utilize skills from your past and adapt them to future occupations or a future dream or a future ambition of yours, but anything that involves the future. And so you can be taking your old skills with you. And right ahead of Capricorn and Aquarius, where the new moon is, are 2 more planets in Pisces. And Pisces is very strong because the ruler of the sign, Neptune, is there. And so is Saturn, a planet of time and stability. And so it can be that if you are taking your old skills or skills you've already mastered and applying them to something new in your future, that something new could involve a long-held dream that you have had for a very long time. And that's because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Pisces rules dreams. And it also rules things behind the scenes. So you could, yes, be taking your skills with you into some new endeavor in your future, but it may be aimed pretty closely toward a long-held dream that you have had. And do you see that all these planets are very compatible? They're all sextiling each other. And that's 8 planets right there. The 2 in Capricorn, the 4 in Aquarius, and 2 more in Pisces. And so, do you see, it's not like there's planets all over your chart this week. There's planets just in certain places that can really help you out because they're sort of helping each other out because they're so close to each other. There's no harsh aspects among all 8 of them. They're all supporting each other. And so that's good because there are 4 planets in the sturdy earth signs, and that's because Jupiter and Uranus, which are both direct, remember there's no retrograde planets, are trining Venus and Mars in Capricorn. And together those 4 planets are trining the sign of Virgo as well. And so that simply means that there can be a question about whether you'll have enough funding for a new endeavor in your future. And I would say that people can, as long as people are practical and they watch their budgets and they don't aim too high, they just aim for, taking one step at a time, they probably would be able to afford something as long as they sort of stay within their budget. So that would be fine. But would you have money enough to succeed at a long-term project? Or would you have enough money to make the whole dream come true? That's a little bit up in the air right now. In other words, we were talking about bigger money. But Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus are squaring the 4 planets in Aquarius. And so that's 6 planets in fixed signs squaring each other, and one of them is a financial sign. So I think it's a little too early to tell if making your dream come true or going forward in your future, but well armed with a skill set that is really worth something, I mean, you can succeed. Whether you'd have big money coming out to help you, I think that's a little bit too early to tell. There's always a development stage first, and I think there would be money for the development stage, at least the beginning of it. So you have nothing to lose. by going forward and listening to the call of the future right now. This is an extremely powerful new moon. 4 planets. When there are 4 or more planets in only one sign, that's called a stellium. That's what you might call sort of a majority. And there's a lot just in one spot. And remember that Aquarius rules the traditional 11th house of hopes and wishes. And the way that hopes and wishes can come true through the sign of Aquarius is in an unusual way or a very quick way, very speedy way, a surprising way. And so, you know, you could get help from somebody very powerful and influential that perhaps had never contacted you before, but they may like a new idea that you have. Maybe they're looking for a new idea. And so there can just be some surprisingly good connection right now that can be very fortunate for your future. And that's why I really encourage you to listen to the call of the future right now. Because in even a very surprising way, some dream or goal of yours, which you are well skilled at, or you're well qualified to make it come true. Maybe you haven't had a chance to until now to sort of try that out, but you really are skilled. You're not going into something blind. You already know what you're doing, and that could happen. So I wish you the best of luck. What does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. For you, Aries, remember there are no planets in fire signs. And so that simply means that if you want to get a new beginning off the ground, which you like to do in very quick, enthusiastic ways, you should perhaps backpedal a little bit and just re-examine what your fondest dream is. And just say to yourself, well, could I work on that dream behind the scenes a little bit? And maybe if I work on it a little bit more, something surprising could come out and my future could be better. And if you look at the potential for your success right now, instead of the success itself, but look at the potential for a great idea that you have that just needs a little more tweaking or a little bit more development. I don't necessarily think that it needs more money. You just need a better way to put a proposal together or a plan together. So you may need to talk to more people right now. And that could take you a little while. Since there's no planets in fire signs, I don't see you just zooming forward. But on the other hand, the 2 planets in Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus, are right ahead of your sun sign, and that's a financial sign. And they're being trined by Venus and Mars in Capricorn. But those 2 planets, Venus and Mars in Capricorn, are squaring your sun, Aries. And they're very strong because they're conjuncting. That means it doubles both of their power. And Mars is your own ruler, but it is exalted in Capricorn, meaning that you really have to follow the rules. And it's somebody else's rules, not yours, Aries. And that can be quite challenging for you right now. So you might be a little bit discouraged if somebody says, hey, you've got to do it a different way. But on the other hand, there's a solar eclipse in your sign coming up, Aries, this spring in April. And you're going to have a great birthday. And on top of that, you could still get something off the ground. If somebody says, well, wait a minute, you've got to do this or take this step, or you've got to be qualified in a different way, I would listen to that because you actually have time to prepare for a new beginning. You don't have to have everything your own way right now. You have to work a little bit more collaboratively with people who have their minds on the bottom line. They have their minds on their own, or they have their own troubles. And so you need to be a little bit patient with them while you steadily go forward on your own plan. So the future is calling you, Aries. It's just not going to be instant success right now, but that shouldn't stop you. A development takes time. Well, that's okay. You've got a solar eclipse coming up. You are going to make a new beginning. But it's not all going to fall in your lap. I think you have to spend a little bit more time being better prepared. Not with your skill set, but just with your original plan. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. This is a time, Taurus, when it may be too early for you to be thinking about big money in connection with a future plan or dream of yours, but because the 2 planets in your sign are squaring the 4 planets, which are the Sun, the new moon, and Pluto, and Mercury in Aquarius. And so the question of whether a future plan of yours or a future goal or investment of yours is really going to pay off in a big way, I think that question is, it's up in the air. There's not an answer to that right now, Taurus. But on the other hand, you are benefiting from a fantastically strong trine from your own ruler, Venus, which is in Capricorn, conjuncting the exalted Mars in Capricorn. If you could listen to somebody's somewhat hard-headed good advice and their requirements for getting a new goal off the ground, or a new idea or a dream of yours off the ground, if you could understand that somebody else may be saying, well, wait a minute, you've got to follow the protocols, or you've got to do all the steps, or you've got to fill out all the forms, or something like that, yet they're not out to hurt you. It's your ruler that's trining your sun, Taurus. They're out to guide you and to make sure you don't miss a step that could be costly to you. I mean, the path to big money, it doesn't fall in your lap. You have to do things right. And Taurus is a good hard worker. You're not afraid of hard work. And remember, this new moon seems to indicate, at least I think it does, because the planets in Capricorn are really good backup to the new moon. They're right behind the new moon. That people who want to hear the call of the future and possibly make a dream come true would be well qualified as far as their skill set goes. They would have already had experience that would enable them to be successful. So nobody is questioning your expertise, Taurus. But it might be with the two very strong planets in Capricorn, which are trining your sun, which is excellent for you. They may be rather demanding right now. And if I were you, I'd listen real closely to what they have to say, because there could be a big reward for that down the road. And if it's just going to take more hard work, you're not afraid of that. So I would say listen closely to a good but rather stern advice that could be coming your way. And it may be that you don't get everything all on your own terms. But when do you want to win? It's a difference between winning the battle and winning the war. If you want to go forward yourself, Taurus, and be successful on your own terms, you might just have to listen to somebody else's terms right now in order to achieve your ultimate goal. Well, I would do that if I were you. The planets in Capricorn are not hurting you. They're doing their best. And I would advise you to listen closely, even if you don't get all that you want right now. It's going to lead you, if you do things that they are saying has to be done, it'll get you to where you want to go, Taurus. And, that's what you want. Remember your dream. And if your dream has to follow some stern advice right now, do it. It'll get you to where you want to go. And that's what you really want, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini, this is a very fortunate new moon for you, Gemini. It's so fortunate for you, Gemini, and for Libra, because you're both air signs, and there's 4 planets in Aquarius, all trining your sun sign, Gemini. And it's the sun and the moon at 21 degrees on Friday, a Jupiter number. Something real good's coming your way, Gemini. And it is Mercury, your own ruler, which is at 7 degrees of Aquarius, conjuncting Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. You may have recently met, or you could be just about to meet, somebody who's rather powerful, or who certainly knows what they're doing. They may be in upper management in an organization. That's what Pluto represents. And this is a person who could open doors for you, Gemini. And I have a feeling they want to. And so this is an important time for you to realize that you've got to hear the call of the future now. Okay, Geminis like to do short, temporary, part-time things, and they like to do more than one. They're very versatile and adaptable. They can spend part of their time in one direction and then turn around and go in another direction, be perfectly happy with that. But Aquarius is a fixed sign. Yours is a mutable sign. Okay, so you're very flexible and adaptable. Well, the fixed signs aren't. The fixed signs are fixed. They're very good people to have around in any type of controversy because they never give up. So just remember there's a blessing to being fixed because they don't give up. And so it's, if somebody comes along and says, listen to the call of your future, Gemini, but it's going to have to be done in a certain way, I would listen to that. And okay, so it wouldn't be all your own idea, would it, Gemini? It would be somebody else's, somebody perhaps powerful, who's coming along and saying, well, I hear that that you're interested in something. Okay, so am I, but you have to do it my way. And that is to get you further than you can get on your own, Gemini. That's why it's good to listen to people who have a little bit more experience or are in upper management or could open a door for you. Because it would be a door you couldn't open for yourself. That's why you should listen to them. And this new moon at the 21st degree means good luck and benevolence for something in your future. So it might not happen tomorrow, but I would say it's headed your way, Gemini. And that's going to be real good for you. And so Jupiter is coming into your sign on May 26th, and it's going to stay there for a year. Your life is going to expand, Gemini. So if somebody comes along and says, oh, I'd like you to join us and do something this way, if I were you, I'd say yes. It may not be exactly what you had in mind, but it has the potential to take you further than you could go on your own. That's why you should do it. It's going to be a banner year for you, Gemini, but it doesn't mean you get everything you want your own way. It certainly means that you would have the choice of following a very good leader, and I would do that if I were you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, the new moon in Aquarius is actually 150 degrees away from your sun, or what we call in conjunct. Okay, it's a little hard to have an effect when it's 150 degrees away from you. It's not opposing your sun sign, but it's not trining it either. And so the future is calling you, Cancer. And I would say that it's not an unknown future to you. It's a future that involves a dream you've had for a very long time. And the reason why is that Neptune is in Pisces and it's the ruler of the sign, along with Saturn, and they are trining your sun. And they are right ahead of that new moon in Aquarius on Friday. And so it's sort of like the sun and the moon are in Aquarius, which rules the future, but the future is leading right toward the realization of some sort of dream you've had for a very long time because the planets in Pisces trine your sun. And so Cancers are a little bit timid, a little bit shy sometimes, and their feelings can get hurt easily. It rules our emotions. They're very sensitive, and they're so sensitive that they sort of know what other people are thinking without having to talk about it too much. But on the other hand, Cancers are not always quick to act on their feelings. And that's because perhaps their feelings are so tender and so precious to them. Or maybe it's because other people are precious to them as well. Okay, so that's understandable, Cancer. But on the other hand, this is a fabulous new moon. And it represents the fact that your future is calling you. And I just think that it's about something that you have been concentrating on much more behind the scenes than people realize. And that it's something like a dream, because that's what Pisces rules and that's what Neptune rules, that you have had for a very long time, because that's what Saturn rules. And both of those planets are trining your sun. And this new moon can mean that in a very surprising way, the dream could be just coming up and looking at you, Cancer. It could be right in front of you. And then what would your excuse be, Cancer? How could you have one? If the future's calling everybody and it seems to arrive on your doorstep in one way or another, then you need to answer the call, Cancer, because it is something that you have had in your heart for years. It's not a new idea. It could be that it's arriving, that would be new, but you've had your mind and your heart on that, set on that for a long, long time. And, you know, a dream isn't real until you make it come true. But this dream is going to land on your doorstep, Cancer. And what I'm saying is, you got to answer the door. You got to answer the call to the future. 21 degrees, the new moon is. That's the best degree of any of them because it's a Jupiter number. It represents benevolence and goodness. And who would want to turn that down? Nobody. Not even you, Cancer. So you go right ahead. The future's calling you, and it's time. It's time for you to open your arms to the future, Cancer. You're long overdue, actually. And your sign rules endings, rather good endings. And so there is a possibility that something has already ended, or it's in its ending phase, and that is going to leave you open for the call of the future. And that's where you are now. And so you go forward now, Cancer. Aquarius rules freedom, and this is a new moon there. The lights are there. It means you're free to go forward. There isn't anything stopping you. And you don't need to wait any longer to have your dream come true. All you have to do is go forward. And you can do that, even if it's just one step at a time. You can do it. Okay, what does you tell me, Leo? Leo. Well, Leo, there are no planets in the fire signs at all. And on top of that, Leo, yours is a fixed sign. And there are 6 planets in a harsh square in the fixed signs. And so you have Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus squaring your sun. They've been doing that for a long time now. And well, Uranus has been doing it for years, and Jupiter all year long has been squaring your sun. But the new moon in Aquarius, along with the sun and Pluto and Mercury, are all opposing your sun sign, Leo. And that means that somebody else who's in a somewhat powerful position is going to go forward. They're going to answer their call to the future. And there could be a change in your life, Leo, right now. And I hope it is a change where you are planning to make a new start. It wouldn't have to be today. And also, somebody else's new start is going to get underway. And I would say, with or without you, it will happen. And so you need to just go ahead and say to yourself, well, what's out there for me? And you know, Leos are, your ruler is the sun. Leos have a pretty sunny personality. So even if you're facing conflict somewhere in your life where someone else is saying, well, I've got a good future and I'm going to go for it, you yourself can say, well, fine, I'm planning new things too. And you will be. Leo, if you have not already thought about making a new start, it will dawn on you real quickly right now. And the reason why is that there is a solar eclipse in Aries coming up in April, and it's going to trine your sun. You are going to make a new beginning, Leo. Don't be distracted or upset by anybody else who's thinking about making a new future for themselves, or don't be upset about the fact that there can be some financial cutbacks or setbacks right now. There are 6 planets, 2 of them are in a financial sign, Taurus. All of your investments may not be paying off the way that you thought they would. Okay, so that is a disappointment, but there's actually nothing stopping you from making a new start, Leo. There's just other people that are doing those things. But, you know, tune them out and just go forward on your own. And plan it carefully because you are going to make a new start. No later than April. You could make it on Friday, on the day of the new moon. But I think it's someone else that's going to make a new start, and they're really ready for it, and they want to do it, and they're going to. And it doesn't even matter what you say, Leo, they're going to do it anyway. But then you can too. You can go your own way. You can do what you want. And in fact, you're going to get sort of a boost by April, because that solar eclipse in Aries is going to give you a huge boost. And so you got to get ready. Just concentrate on your own plans for the future right now, Leo. And sort of tune out what everybody else is doing. Just concentrate on what you want to do. Because you're probably, with a good skill set that you have, you probably are going to be able to go forward and do it no later than April. You can do it before then, but no later than April. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, you have, once again, a lot of planets in both Taurus and Capricorn trining your sun. It's been that way all year. Virgo, and so you benefit from being very practical, which is what you usually are anyway. But Venus and Mars, exalted in Capricorn, are trining your sun, and so are Jupiter and Uranus. These planets all the planets are direct, and they're all going forward, and you're going to go with them, Virgo. And the reason why is I think that inside of yourself, you are really ready for that. And on top of that, there is the possibility right now, Virgo, that there is someone in a higher position, or somebody in authority, or even if they were retired, they had a lot of authority, so they really know what they're doing. And they could meet you, even in an unexpected or sudden way. They could just meet you. And the reason why is it's your own ruler, Mercury, that is conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius, where the new moon is on Friday. See, there is a way to sort of connect all these dots, Virgo, if you study it enough, which I love doing. And so somebody who is in an influential position, or who could open a door for you, wants to, because it's your own ruler that's conjuncting Pluto. And so I think you're going to get news about a new opportunity, Virgo. And, Virgo, there isn't any reason for you to say no. One, whoever is listening to the call of the future is already going to be able to use skills that they have learned in the past. In other words, they're very well qualified already for some new endeavor. And on top of that, it probably would mean more money for you, Virgo. And Virgos don't mind that at all. Your sign rules banking, Virgo. And there could be more money because Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus are trining your sun, along with Venus and the exalted Mars in Capricorn. And your own ruler is involved in this new moon on Friday, because it's conjuncting Pluto, which indicates an influential or powerful person. And it's in the sign of the future, Aquarius, along with the lights. I would, if I were you, the very least that you ought to do right now, Virgo, is look your best. And you really should try to, put on a good face and a good, look your best. Because very surprisingly, Aquarius rules sudden change. Very surprisingly, in a completely innocent, easy way, you could meet somebody that would really like your style. They may have been looking for somebody just with your particular skill set, or with your ideas. You're a really good problem solver. Maybe they have a problem that they think you can solve for them. And you ought to say yes, because they would have the power to advance your interests as well. And this is going to be a year of opportunity for everyone, but it's also a year of new partnerships, because there are 2 eclipses in Libra, both of which are going to happen right in front of your sun sign, Virgo. You'll be affected by those eclipses. So you ought to think about that a little bit. If very suddenly, just right out of the blue, maybe standing in line at the grocery store, who knows, you are going to, I think, hear about or meet somebody who is interested in your talent, or your good ideas, or your problem-solving skills. And they could be looking for you, Virgo, so make sure you're looking your best right now, because then something could work out really well for you. All year long, you have been having planets in the other earth signs trine your sun, and there's got to be a reason for that. And that reason seems to indicate more material success, or more career success, or just more money coming your way. But it also emphasizes how careful you are about things. You know, it can show you off to your best. I don't think anyone's got the better of you this year, Virgo, and I don't think they're going to. So don't worry about anything, but look your best anyway. Put your best foot forward. It could do you a lot of good right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time, Libra, when just like Gemini, which is another air sign, you benefit greatly from this new moon on Friday, because the sun and the new moon and Mercury and Pluto, all in Aquarius, all four of them are trining your sun sign, Libra, which is great because you have a lunar eclipse coming up in your sign this spring and a powerful solar eclipse coming up in your sign in October. And so, of course, there will be new partners in your life this year, or there will be changes that will be most agreeable to you this year, Libra. And this new moon could be setting them all off, could be the start of it all. And the reason why is that the four planets in Aquarius trine your sun powerfully, very powerfully. There are two pair of planets in Aquarius, and each pair of these planets are conjuncting another planet, and it doubles their strength. So, okay, there's four planets in Aquarius, but they've got the strength of 8. And all that power is flowing into your sign and into the sign of Gemini, unrestricted. There's nothing stopping it. And so, Libra, keep your eyes peeled for a new partner. Or if you are already in a partnership, or you're thinking about, there could be a sudden change in it, or there could be simply, if you're not in a partnership at all, there could be something new on your horizon that is just perfect for you, Libra. And it could have something to do with things that are ahead of their time. Or it could have something to do with a humanitarian effort. Or it could have something to do with working with young people. Gemini trines your sun, and this new moon is trining Gemini and your sign. So there's so much potential for your future right now under this new moon, Libra, that you have to be open to new things. You know, don't sit at home with your head in a book and let the world pass you by right now. You'd be missing a lot. You'd be missing a lot that could be coming your way. And so you got to get out, Libra, and get around people. And just go ahead and cultivate relationships. Meet new people. You don't know what kind of friends you're going to make, but the point is you could make new friends. And they would like you. This is a good time to meet new people for you. And it's a good time to let people know what your ideas are. Because Libras like partnership. They like to work with other people. Or they like to be around people. You know, they like to do things with others. And this is just a wonderful time for you somewhat suddenly to meet a good partner. Or somebody who could help take you into the future. And just help you move along yourself. And so you must be open to change right now, Libra. Same with Gemini. Same with Aquarius. Change is in the air. Maybe it's only getting talked about now, or thought about now, or planned now. But it's got such fantastic potential, it's going to go ahead, particularly for you, because there's 2 eclipses in your sign. So if there's anybody around that you like, that you think might be a good partner, you are probably 100% right about that right now. And they could be thinking the same thing about you. So that's good. So just keep going, Libra. And keep a smile on your face. Look your best. Because the world could be your oyster this year. But you have to be open for it. And this is not a time to be hiding your talents at all. You should be sort of showing them off a little bit. This is going to be a good year for you. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, This is a time, Scorpio, with 6 planets in fixed signs all squaring each other, and your sign, Scorpio, that there could be a little area of contention in your life about money. And it may be that you feel that something is either costing you too much, or you're paying too much for something, and you can be disillusioned because you might have thought that what you were paying for was worth it, only to find out there were sort of holes in it or things wrong, but you're still paying for it. And so there can be a financial issue that sort of suddenly comes to a head, and it can come to a head in a way that is somewhat dependent on the value of your investment, Scorpio, because yours is a fixed financial sign, and it rules money coming in from other sources, so it rules grants and insurance, it rules income tax refunds or payments, because it rules taxes, but it also rules credit and debt, and you may be involved with concerns about those matters. And then Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus are opposing your sun sign, but the new moon in Aquarius with the sun there and Pluto, your own ruler, and Mercury are all squaring your sun, Scorpio. And so you may feel that somebody's trying to make a power play on you, and it involves money in one way or another. And you may be very resistant to that. And they could be just as resistant to listening to you as you are in listening to them. And so what's the answer? I think the answer right now, Scorpio, is for you to go behind the scenes, just let something sit for a while. Why waste your time arguing? If somebody's not listening to you, don't waste your breath. Don't focus on somebody who's not cooperating in any way. But do focus on something that means a lot to you instead. And that makes sense, doesn't it? And Neptune and Saturn in Pisces are trining your sun, Scorpio. You can be very lucky and very fortunate behind the scenes, making a dream come true. And it would be an old dream, or a dream you've had a very long time. And on top of that, no one would see you making it, no one would see you doing that. Pisces rules things that are hidden. But these planets trine your sun beautifully. And Neptune is one of the 2 very strongest planets in the heavens right now. And Mars in Capricorn is the other one. And that Mars in Capricorn, along with Venus, are sextiling your sun. So there's somebody that's got some good business ideas, and even if they're somewhat hard-headed ideas, they could benefit you. Venus is conjuncting Mars, and that Mars is your own ruler. So, you could be listening to some very good but stern business advice. That would do you a lot of good, Scorpio. But on top of that, Saturn is trining your sun, which means that a dream you've had for a very long time, since these planets are all direct in the heavens, for the whole month of February, all the planets are going forward. There is no reason for us not to. In fact, it's a shame if somebody doesn't start going forward in their future. The future is calling us because of the new moon. Well, the follow-through that we ourselves are all responsible for is certainly possible right now because there's no retrograde planets. And there have been for months, but not this month. And that's why if you go behind the scenes, there's going to be no problem at all, Scorpio. You are going to be able to make a dream come true. It's going to be fine. And it might be a dream that involves somebody with unique talent in one way or another. Because Aquarius rules things ahead of their time, and all 4 planets in Aquarius, which are squaring your sun, are actually supporting the planets in Pisces. They're right behind the planets in Pisces, which are trining your sun. So making a dream come true right now is going to have a heck of a lot of backup in a somewhat surprising way. But it's going to have a lot of backup. You can do it. And have almost nobody seen you do it. So I would concentrate on that. Rather than butting heads with people who don't want to listen to you anyway, Okay, so leave them out in the cold. What are they going to accomplish? Nothing by arguing. So go ahead, spend your time on something that will make you happy instead. That'll be good for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius. This is a time, Sagittarius, since there are no planets in fire signs, when you may even be a little bit disappointed that there might be something like a trip or a concert that you had been planning on that doesn't quite come through, or even if you did attend it, it may not turn out exactly the right way you thought it would, or else it could be getting rescheduled. That's possible as well for one reason or another. So Sagittarius, this isn't a time when you are exactly in the driver's seat. I don't think you are. But on the other hand, look at what you've got right ahead of your sun sign. You have 8 planets. You have Venus and the exalted Mars in Capricorn right ahead of your sun sign, Sagittarius. So there's somebody around that's making some pretty hard-headed business decisions, but they're doing it in order to stay in business. They're not doing it to be mean to anybody. They're doing it to trim their budgets so they can make it through some hard times. You can't blame somebody for that, because if they make it through the hard times, it's going to benefit everybody. So they have a sort of more practical view of the future. Okay, but those Venus and Mars are conjuncting each other, and they're right ahead of your sun sign. And so there could be some sort of hard-headed business news coming out, but it might benefit you, Sagittarius. It might not hurt you at all. And then right ahead of them are the 4 planets in Aquarius, so the planets in Capricorn sextile your sun, and so do the planets in Aquarius. When planets are within 30 degrees of a sun sign, that's called a semi-sextile. When they are within 60 degrees of a sun sign, that's called a sextile. They're both sextiling, just one's a little closer than the other. So that there are 6 planets there that are all sextiling your sun, Sagittarius, which means that as things unfold right now and new possibilities can be presented or they are around you, you need to walk right into them because they're right in front of you. And then ahead of those 6 planets are Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. They square your sun. Okay, so not all your dreams are going to come true right now, Sagittarius, but you are going to be able to see sort of a window on the world or a way to go forward in your future. And for whatever reason, what if you got laid off on your job and you went out and applied for another job? That's a window on a new world. And you're going to be able to take your skills with you. You'll actually be able to walk into something better, which is sort of nice for you. And you'd only be walking in the door, okay? It's not like you get everything you want at first. But there's a solar eclipse coming up in Aries in April, and it trines your sun, Sagittarius. You will be making a new beginning. It sort of doesn't matter in life where you start. It really matters where you finish. And so people don't have to start in a grand and glorious way. They just have to start. And you could do that, Sagittarius. So try to walk into something that, it might be hard at first, but you actually have a lot of experience that you can draw on. I don't think anything's going to faze you if you start something new, whether you do it now or whether you wait till April. It won't faze you. So go right ahead, Sagittarius, for one reason or another, and step into something that is a little more solid. It might require harder work, but there could be a bigger reward as well. Capricorn's right in front of your sign, and Capricorn rules rewards earned the hard way over a long period of time. And that means a slow rise to the top. That's what Capricorn stands for. And that's where you could end up, Sagittarius. Just taking one step at a time. So I hope you realize your future really is calling you, and go right ahead. All right, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, lucky you. You have Venus in your sign, conjuncting the exalted Mars in your sign. So you could have been having a very strict view of business matters while Mars has been in your sign, Capricorn. You could have been watching your bottom line. Capricorns are savers. They're security prone, very security prone, because Saturn is your ruler, and that's what Saturn is. It's a planet of time. And so you could have been worried that, you know, that you've had too much of an outlay recently. In other words, spending more money than you're comfortable spending, you know, to pay bills or to catch up on things in one way or the other, or even to prepare your taxes for this year. But so that could bother you, because Capricorns don't really like to spend too much money on things. They're not, you know, they're very thoughtful, but they like to get good value for their money, or they'll skip it. And Capricorn rules antiques, for instance, things that other people might throw away but turn out to be quite valuable over time. Capricorns have a very good eye for things like that. And so their own net worth increases, sometimes because of things that they've bought at very small prices but have turned out to be quite valuable. And so Capricorn, you're very lucky that Venus is conjuncting Mars in your sign right now, because it's being tried by Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. There should be a financial matter. If it's not occurring now, it could be quickly in the future, and it should be turning out in your favor, Capricorn. Just remember that. You might not even be anticipating some wonderful financial thing turning out in your favor right now, but something could turn around. Because you all year long you've been having support from Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, but they have been retrograde. Now they're not. They're direct, and so are the planets in your sign. And the new moon is right ahead of your sun sign. In fact, you know, you have to listen to the call of the future, Capricorn, because something's going to open up for you, and you just got to go for it. Now, Capricorns are cautious people. They don't jump into things. They try it on. They look at it. They think about it. They ponder it. But you know, Capricorn, not only is this a fabulous new moon with 4 planets in it right ahead of your sun sign on Friday, but Jupiter is coming into Gemini at the end of May, on May 26th, and it's going to be trining the sign of Aquarius too, reinforcing the future for a whole year in a very favorable way. So you don't have to ponder things for too much longer, Cancer or Capricorn. What you need to do is think about doing new things in your life. Okay? That means you might have to give up a few old things that you've been doing. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Maybe you've outgrown something, or it's outgrown you, one way or the other. But we can't keep holding on to the past. This is all about the future now. And that new moon's just staring you in the face, Capricorn. It's right ahead of your sun sign. And so there's new things coming for you. And if you just stood and thought about it, well, you're not going to be able to think about it much longer than June. Because in June, Jupiter will be trining the sign of Aquarius, once again right in front of your sun sign. And you will not be able to resist. You will be doing something new. And that'll be just fine. It will refresh you and reawaken you and make you feel young again. So I think you should get ready for that, Capricorn. It looks like it's going to happen this year. And so the future is calling you. No matter what you do, the future is calling you. Good luck. What does it mean to an Aquarian? Oh, Aquarius, congratulations. This is the best new moon that you're going to have all year long. I mean, it's just fantastic for you, Aquarius. You got the sun and the moon at 21 degrees, a Jupiter number, meaning good luck and benevolence are headed your way, Aquarius. They really are. They should almost be on your doorstep right about now or next week. Real close. And then Mercury is conjuncting Pluto in your sign as well. So there's 2 pairs. The sun and the moon are conjuncting, and Mercury and Pluto are conjuncting. That doubles the strength of all those planets. And gee, since your sign rules flight, I would say that you are getting ready to sort of blast off or take off in one way or another, Aquarius. And I think it's going to be wonderful for you. I mean, your ruler is Uranus. It rules sudden surprising change. There could be a sudden surprising change in the money. It would tend to be a little bit more on the upside, Aquarius. Possibly some good news. On the other hand, you would still have to pay taxes, and some of your investments may be falling in value at the moment, but I don't think you're going to get hurt by too much right now because of the strength of the 4 planets in your sign. There isn't any other sign that has 4 planets in it, particularly not the lights. Those are the best. So even if you have some financial matters or tax matters or credit or debt matters that you have to deal with right now, I think you're going to get through them just fine. Or whether you have to pay out or whether your investments are lower in value than they used to be, whatever it is, or whether you have a tax matter, you're going to do fine, Aquarius. You will come through it. And as far as you starting something new, since we all should be listening to the call of the future right now, you're past due, Aquarius. You need to start something new. And you know it. You're ready. You're ready for blast off. And you know, the world is just opening up, and it will continue to open up for you for the next 15 to 20 years, the whole time that Pluto is in your sign. And it will happen slowly. Okay, it's not like tomorrow you're gonna wake up and, you know, be a completely new person. But you will get there, Aquarius. Yours is a fixed sign. You are certainly aspected to be involved with innovative new things in the next 15 to 20 years, and to have your power increase because of it. You know, it doesn't matter what age you are. You are going to expand and grow. And this new moon may be sort of the kickoff for that. It doesn't mean that you're able to land anywhere yet, okay? It doesn't, like I said, with 6 planets and fixed signs squaring each other, nobody is too sure if there's going to be enough long-term funding to make something new get off the ground. Okay, we don't know that yet. But you got to start something before you got to generate. You got to develop things first. And it looks to me like you're going to do that, Aquarius. So I don't know what you have on your mind. It could be something old. And you could be using skills from your past in a new way, meaning that you're terribly well qualified for something, even if it's new something. You're very well qualified to handle it and be successful at it, and you will be. So if you're just taking your past skills from your past career and thinking of going in a new direction and having a new career, it's aspected to work out quite well. But slowly. Okay. First of all, yours is a fixed sign. Fixed signs don't move all that fast, but that's because they want to be successful. And so the good thing about fixed signs is that when they see a problem, it doesn't stop them. Even if it's a big problem, it doesn't stop them. They just keep working at it in one way or another. They never give up. You know, in a war, when you're fighting for your life, it's real good to have people who are fixed signs around you, because they'll never let you down. They'll never quit. And so you have that in you, Aquarius. Yours is a fixed sign. But Aquarians usually are intrigued with new things, and they like to tinker with them because your sign rules invention. And you are somewhat fascinated by new technology. But you could also just be fascinated by space, or flight, or electricity, or things that are so far ahead of their time that they haven't really arrived anywhere, but they're just intriguing to think about. Well, fine. I think you're going to have a pretty good run with Pluto being in your sign for so long. It'll go back into Aquarius later on. By this end of summer and into fall for a couple of months, but it's really going to be in your sign for years. And when Jupiter comes in May 26th into Gemini and trines your sun, you're looking at a year of opportunity that is multifaceted. You'll have more than one opportunity from this summer to next summer, and you should try to say yes to everything. You may never get so many opportunities. You'll have to be pretty good at time management in order to, you might get spread a little bit thinly. But I would say yes to as many good opportunities as you can this year and next year. It would set you up for the rest of your life. So think about it. And age has nothing to do with it. You know, I'm talking talent. And talent doesn't die. And talent doesn't get old. Talent does keep reinventing itself or adapting itself or growing. So, as I said, age has nothing to do with it. You know that, Aquarius. Aquarius are always looking at tomorrow. Even when tomorrow isn't here yet, they're always looking at it. So good luck. And stay tuned, Aquarius. Maybe we need to stick together while you go through a whole lot of change in the next year or so. So I hope you do. Keep watching. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time, Pisces, when you can be operating quite successfully behind the scenes. And it could be in a new way. It could be with an unusually talented person. It could be with somebody who's ahead of their time, or else just has is very open to the future in one way or another. And it can be, Pisces, since Neptune is so strong in your sign right now because it's your ruler and it's there and all the planets are direct, and Saturn is in your sign as well, giving you extra strength and tenacity. Tenacity is a little bit different than just strength. Tenacity means toughness. And Pisces generally do not have a tough nature at all. They're very sympathetic, very charitable, sort of dreamy. You know, they sort of go along with other people. But Saturn is in your sign now, Pisces, and that gives you tenacity and I would say backbone. And this is a time to make a dream come true. You have the lights right in the background of your life. So there's a lot of light in the background of your life right now, Pisces. There's 4 planets there in Aquarius on Friday. The Sun, the new moon, Mercury, and Pluto. And so somewhere in the background of your life, Pisces, there is somebody else who has a sort of a truth of their own. Pluto is the planet of truth. And they're involved possibly in a way that will help you make a dream of your own come true. That's entirely possible. You have more strength behind you than you do in your sign, but you also have a lot of strength in your sign because your own ruler is there, and so is a planet of strength or tenacity or being able to stick to things like Saturn. And so Pisces, you might surprise a lot of people, particularly under this new moon, which is tucked away in your chart. It's behind your sun sign in your chart. And so, but there's so much light there that it's like somewhere in your mind, Pisces, the light has dawned. Okay, you get it. You're seeing something clearly now. And it's almost as if you had a wonderful dream, but there was always a little bit of fog or mist around it, and now there isn't. There isn't. Whatever dream you have that you have had for years is true. It's like it's true blue. It's the real thing. And you may have always wished it, and now you can see it's real and true. And on top of that, there's so much light behind you that you can see that in your future. Aquarius rules the future, and that's where all the light is in Aquarius. And it's the future of your dream, Pisces. something that you've had in your mind and in your heart for years. And I would say extremely quietly. Maybe you never told anybody. But now you can see that future coming right at you. And it is. It's for real. It might be unusual, might be ahead of its time. It certainly might be something that is so close to the real truth of what's in your heart that the truth cannot be denied any longer. And that's why the dream needs to come true. Why would you ever deny yourself your own happiness? Don't do that. You can make your dream come true because it's tomorrow, it's the future that's right there in that new moon in Aquarius in the background of your life, and it's headed forward, right toward you, Pisces. And it's good for you. So Pisces, I think your life is about to change in one way or another, and it will be, the effect of it will be an awakening. You're going to have an awakening. Okay, so it doesn't mean you're going back to the past, Pisces. It means that, the fog clears. Okay? The light's coming right at you. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. There's just one word that comes to mind to describe the dream when it comes true. And the word is bliss. B-L-I-S-S. Bliss. It will bring you bliss. Greater happiness than you've ever known. And that's in your future. So Pisces, your future is calling, just like everybody else. So I hope you answer the call, because it's time to make a dream come true. So, thanks a lot. I hope that you all will subscribe to my Karen Campbell YouTube channel and tell your friends about it. And if you'd like to read a little bit more about the theme of the show each week, you can read it on my blog, on my website, starborninstitute.org. If it says it isn't safe, just click it again, and then the blog will open up and you'll be able to read it. And also, if there is anybody that wants to make a comment, I wish you would, because I haven't had comments lately on the show. I'm wondering if some mysterious hand turned off the comments, because actually I love to hear from my viewers. So if you want to make a comment about anything, please feel free, because I'd be really happy to hear from you. All right, thanks so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.